The mathematical ability of our mind is effective in our everyday life. When we climb upstairs, when we walk through a door, when we cross the street, when we go away and find our way back again to a place. All these activities are based on our mathematical mind. We need sense of proportion and the sense for mathematical conditions. We handle these acts unconsciously towards mathematical forms, and we do not see them as an area of mathematics consciously. We do not give the same opportunities for children to absorb the basics of math as we do for language in the early years of life. There are, however, many opportunities to do so. Children can help set the table and divide up food. Practical life activities of all kinds involve precision, sequencing and calculation. If the language of math is in the environment, then the child can take it and create it. It does not need to be a formal study, just as we do not need to teach the infant language. It just needs to be part of the daily life rituals and activities as an informal reality. The sensorial materials help the child to develop what Dr. Montessori calls touchstones. The basis of all activities is the finding of patterns and the creation of order from the chaos. The activities with sensorial materials help to lay the foundations for creative imagination that is based on reality and future academic work in the fields of language, mathematics, and all areas of cultural study, such as music, art, botany, zoology, geography, and science. There is another language that we expose the children to at this time, the language of number. The language has words, symbols, and functions.
Podaj mi 4. Podaj mi 8.
The child makes his own discoveries that numbers have wholeness and numbers are made of parts. They increase in even increments. There are 9 symbols in our system, plus a special number 0 that does several exciting things. Numbers have places called categories, and the categories group themselves in families. Numbers behave similarly regardless of the place of the category they are in. Numbers behave similarly regardless of the place category they are in. Number symbols can be put together to form bigger numbers. Numbers can be separated in different ways.
Служи стотица тук. Служи хилядно тук. Служи десетица тук. Служи стотица тук.
The child discovers that it is possible to carry in our minds the way in which numbers behave. During this period, the memorization tables may happen spontaneously and virtually without conscious effort. If the child is aided in this way during the first plane of development, the child is able to move with confidence from the sensorial material level to the more intellectual and abstract level of the second plane.
And now, Sammy, what happens if we take this one?
Children of 3 or so are anxious to use the language of number and geometry. They are prepared to expand and concretise the knowledge they have acquired so far. The CASA is prepared for the operation of the tendencies for order and exactness. The environment it provides is sensorial in nature, so the mathematical mind can express itself, absorb and abstract. Math must be presented in such a way as for the child to conduct a sensorial exploration of its facts and terms. The math materials allow the child to symbolise the explorations with the language of mathematics, holding the images in the mind with words. mathematics materials are not a curriculum. They are foundation material with which the child of the first plane can come into contact with the formalities of the mathematical abstractions in a sensorial way. They are suited to the child's need for basic facts. They give the basis for all that is to be later explored in the elementary on a deeper level.
The negative snake game.
Montessori approach is child-centred. Observation is an integral part of it. We do not start with what we want to teach. Our starting point is the child's needs. It is only through observation that we can offer the child activities that meet the developmental needs. We use observation to find and follow the children's spontaneous acts. We actually see the child in the process of developing.
3000 и още 3. 600, 5, 6, 7. 8 трябва да са. 8? Да, 78. И сега, плюс 2767.
We also see the child makes important discoveries and connections between different areas of knowledge.
Това плюс това колко хиляди прави? Това трябва да сметнеш колко стотици. 7, 8, 9, 10, 13.
We also see the child integrate knowledge. We want to observe life unfolding. Then we will understand more clearly how we can help. The power of the mathematical mind lies in its ability to quantify with precision, to reason through logic and abstract pattern through observation and imagination.
6445.
The mathematical mind also has the power not only to hold measurements, patterns, sequences and mathematical relationships in the mind as images, but also to translate them into invention through the work of the hands. The creative potential of the mathematical mind is as great as its potential to order and understand. The ability to reason presupposes a basis of life experience from which to draw the information on which one practices reasoning.
8,456,302 делено на 52.
It is therefore no accident that the onset of the reasoning mind as a special characteristic occurs after some life experience has been acquired. Human beings have a tremendous capacity for reason. They need therefore lots of information on which to work their reason. The learning is not linear and math must not be tied to a curriculum. There are vast numbers of fields of exploration and many ways to approach the same problems. There is one characteristic of the mathematical mind, its versatility. Math is part of the world and the universe. It is the basis of the functioning of the universe. Its language is the only one that scientists have found that can accurately describe the phenomena they are studying. Math is also a part of human reality, of building, transport, cooking, clothing and art. To be able to explore the universe and the achievements of people to the fullest, one has to be able to use mathematics.
3 трилиона 872 милиарда 775 милиона 640 хиляди 672.
Human beings grow only if they stretch themselves and overcome obstacles.
Кое беше обиколка? Сбора на всички страни.
If we accept that reason, math and logic are the universals of human heritage, being manifested in the second plane of development, then we do not question whether or not the children are ready for math.
Това е едно цяло, нали? Това е една дроба. Трябва да разделиш тези дроби на две.
When confronted with large problems, it is fine if the children spend time exploring dead ends. That is the way of most scientific inquiry.
Света има и други системи за броене. Например, помните ли, че бабилонците Тяхното магическо число е било 60. Нека да видим какво би било, ако нашето магическо число е 5.
The job of the adult is to arouse wonder, then allow for exploration, pose questions and challenges, rather than impart rules and information.
400. Добре. 1,000. Теорема на Питагор. Питагор всъщност е бил човек. Той е бил грък. Древните гърци винаги са си задавали големи въпроси. Природата трябва да има някакъв пари, трябва да има някакво обяснение за всичко, което виждаме в природата.
Every child can think like Pythagoras, especially as we have the help of Pythagoras in the classroom.
Квадратът построен на хипотенузата е равен на квадратите построени на бедрата на правоъгълния триъгълник.
We set up obstacles to comprehension by expecting the children to accept abstractions that have no foundation in their personal reality. They themselves must come to the laws and definitions through the process of generalisation from a database. They must be given the time to learn from mistakes as well as successes, so that they will not be afraid and will know the rewards of perseverance. The mathematical abstraction is the focus. The abstraction means the quality of dealing with ideas rather than events.
Кое е 1000 пъти по-малко от хектограм?
Working in abstract is not working on paper. The abstraction is not memorization. We provide repetition through a variety to the child towards abstraction. These abilities to extract, consider independently, derive and apply rules is what makes the abstraction so different from memorization, which means to remember something or learn something by heart. The memorization is important because it gives freedom to the child to operate with numbers and concepts with confidence. We could compare it to the association of written signs and their sounds, or the decoding of words. It gives the basis for reading. But the abstraction is like the total reading, the ability to read understanding the context. Spontaneous work in a prepared environment aims to get the child to be responsible for his own learning. Our first commitment is to the development of the whole child. Cognitive development and a solid academic foundation are important, yet they represent only one dimension of our aspirations for the child. Equally important is the child's social, emotional, spiritual and physical development. To fulfill our purpose, we are led by Montessori principles and practice, following the training and guidance of the Association Montessori Internationale. Learning to love, loving to learn.